Hi class, today is lesson 11-1. It's the first lesson in our unit on integers and absolute value. Our purpose for this lesson is to identify and graph integers and find their opposites. By graphing integers means we're actually going to plot them on a number line. Positive numbers is our first vocabulary term, so make sure that you turn to the back of your composition books and write down this first of four terms. Here we have positive numbers. What are positive numbers? Well, you've dealt with them pretty much this entire time in 6th grade. These are numbers greater than 0. Here we have a positive 134. It's also written as just plain 134. So either with the plus sign in front of it or no sign, it indicates a positive number. Our next term is negative numbers. Negative numbers are numbers less than 0, and they're always written with a minus sign. Here we have a negative 134. Keep in mind, we'll see what these look like on a number line. Many of you already know what they look like. Next term are opposites. Now we're looking at a number line, and we'll be able to understand negative relative to positive numbers. Part of that relationship is opposites. First of all, opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0. Okay. Secondly, they're numbers that are on different sides of 0. So the opposite of a positive 2, or just a plain 2, is a negative 2. They are both the same distance away from 0. Here, negative 2 is 2 units away from 0. Here, positive 2 is 2 units away from 0. And that goes as well for positive 5. 5 is 5 units away from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the negative 5 is also 5 units away from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next we have the term integers. Integers. What are integers? Integers are the set of whole numbers and their opposites. They're not decimals, they're not fractions, they are whole numbers. That's what integers are. And they are the positives and the negatives. They are whole numbers and their opposites. Okay? So here we have the negative integers, here we have the positive integers, and here, this is unique, 0 is neither negative nor positive, yet it is an integer. Lastly, we have absolute value. Absolute value is a distance an integer is from 0 on a number line. And the symbol that is used are these two vertical lines. Here, we're saying, what is the absolute value of a negative 3? Well, the absolute value of a negative 3 is the distance away from 0 that it is. It is exactly 3 units away from 0, so the answer to the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Here we're taking the absolute value of a positive 3. The absolute value of a positive 3 is 3. It is also 3 units away from 0. That's what absolute value is. And as you can notice, absolute value is a positive number because it's a distance. It's a distance away from 0. For our first example, we're going to try out is to name positive or negative numbers to represent each situation. Here in A, which says a gain of 20 yards in football. Well, if we're gaining or increasing, that implies a positive number. So we can write that as a positive 20 or just 20. Spending $75. Spending $75 means we're decreasing the amount of money we have in order to pay for an item. So when we think in terms of decreasing what we have, we think of it as a negative number. So when we spend, it is a negative 75. Okay. 10 feet below sea level. Below meaning below zero sea level means that is less than zero. So we also make this into a negative number. Negative 10. Here we have the instructions that read graph each integer and its opposite on a number line. Here we have a negative 4. It says on the number line, not only does it want us to graph where negative 4 is, where's the opposite? Well, the opposite of 4 is 4. And how do we know it's the opposite? Because they are the same distance from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'll take you through some more examples in class regarding that. Let's go to the next example. And here we're going to use a number line to find the absolute value of the integer. Okay? So the first one that we see is the absolute value, indicated by these vertical lines, of a 5. That's asking us, how far is it away from 0? Well, a 5 is this positive number, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away from 0. So the absolute value of a 5 is 5. When we look at a negative 7, we're looking at certainly a number on the other side of 0 at this point. And let me change it to the pen here. Negative 7 is located right here. The absolute value of negative 7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 7 units away from 0, which means it's a positive 7. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. I guess I didn't change the color, did I? Lastly, this is your turn. It says find the absolute value of the following. Absolute value of 3. We realize it's a positive number, and you can draw a number line if you so desire. And I might do that here, 0, 1, 2, 3. How far is it away from 0? That's what absolute value means. How far is it away from 0? It is 1, 2, 3. It is 3 units away from 0. What I want you to go ahead and do is complete the rest, and we'll see you in class.